What if I told you the biggest wealth transfer in American history is happening right now, and most people are sitting on completely the wrong side of it? In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how ordinary people, teachers, nurses, and regular working Americans are quietly building six-figure fortunes through real estate, while everyone else wonders why their savings account barely keeps up with inflation. Here's a fact that should stop you cold. According to the Federal Reserve, the top 1% of Americans own 32% of all wealth in this country. And the number one driver of that wealth? Real estate. Not stocks, not crypto, not side hustles, real property. But here's what the finance channels won't tell you. The wealth gap isn't driven by who earns the most. It's driven by who owns things while they sleep. Let me explain what I mean. Every single month, a homeowner builds equity, even if they do absolutely nothing. Their tenant pays down the mortgage, the property appreciates, and the tax code rewards them for holding it. Meanwhile, the renter hands their money to someone else's future and gets nothing back. Now, I'm not saying renting is always wrong, but I am saying that the people who cracked the real estate code early, even with modest incomes, are now in a completely different financial reality than the people who waited. Now, real estate doesn't make you money in one way. It makes you money in 4 simultaneous ways. Most people only think about one. The first pillar, cash flow. This is the monthly income left over after every expense is paid. Mortgage, insurance, taxes, repairs, vacancy. A well-purchased rental property in the right market can generate $300 to $800 per month in positive cash flow per unit. That's money deposited into your account whether you wake up that morning or not. The second pillar, appreciation. Historically, U.S. real estate appreciates at roughly 3 to 4% annually, and in high-demand markets significantly more. On a $200,000 property, 4% appreciation is $8,000 in added value per year. You didn't do anything for that $8,000. The market gave it to you. The third pillar, tax benefits. The IRS allows real estate investors to depreciate rental properties over 27.5 years, even while the property is going up in value. This means you can show a paper loss on your taxes while actually pocketing cash every month. Pair that with the 1031 exchange rule, which lets you defer capital gains indefinitely by rolling profits into a new property, and you begin to see why the wealthy pay a lower effective tax rate than most people expect. The fourth pillar, debt paydown. Every month your tenant pays rent, a portion of that mortgage payment chips away at the loan principal. You're building equity using someone else's money. After 30 years, you own the property outright, a fully paid-off asset that still generates income. These 4 pillars working together create compounding momentum. The longer you stay in the game, the more unstoppable the math becomes. Now, understanding the 4 pillars is great, but how do people actually build a portfolio from scratch without millions of dollars sitting in the bank? This is where one of the most powerful strategies in real estate investing comes in: the BRRRR method. BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. And when you understand how it works, you'll realize why some investors seem to magically multiply their properties every 2 or 3 years. Here's how it works in practice. Step 1. Buy a distressed property below market value. Let's say you find a house listed at $90,000 in a neighborhood where similar homes are selling for $140,000. The property needs work. Maybe the kitchen is outdated, the carpet is stained, and the bathrooms are dated, but the bones are solid. Step 2. Rehab the property. You put in $30,000 worth of targeted renovations, the kind that maximize appraised value and rental appeal. New kitchen surfaces, fresh paint throughout, updated bathrooms. Now you have a property worth $140,000 that cost you $120,000 all in. Step 3. Rent it out. You find a quality tenant and start generating monthly cash flow. The property is now performing. Step 4. Refinance. Here's the magic. You go to the bank and get a cash-out refinance based on the new appraised value of $140,000. At 75% loan-to-value, the bank lends you $105,000. You use that to pay off your original purchase and rehab costs, and you walk away with your capital returned, sometimes with cash to spare. Step 5. Repeat. You take that same capital and do it again and again and again. Investors who master BRRRR have built portfolios of 10, 20, even 50 units, using the same initial pot of capital, recycled through deal after deal. The money never leaves the game. Let me walk you through a real deal analysis so you can see exactly how these numbers play out. Imagine a single-family rental property in a mid-sized Midwestern city. Purchase price, $130,000. Down payment at 20%, $26,000. Monthly mortgage payment, $620. Monthly rent, $1,200. Monthly expenses, mortgage $620, property taxes $100, insurance $80, property management at 10% is $120, maintenance and vacancy reserve $100. Total monthly expenses, $1,020. Net cash flow, $180 per month. Now I know what you're thinking. $180 a month doesn't sound life-changing. But stay with me, because while you're collecting that cash flow, the property is also appreciating at 3% per year. On a $130,000 home, that's $3,900 in added value. Your tenant is also paying down roughly $2,400 of mortgage principal per year, and you're getting depreciation deductions worth roughly $4,700 annually. Add it all up, $2,160 per year in cash flow, $3,900 in appreciation, $2,400 in principal paydown, about $1,000 in tax savings. Total annual return, over $9,000 on a $26,000 down payment. That's a 35% annual return. Try getting that from a savings account. So how do you actually get started, especially if you don't have a lot of capital sitting around? The single most powerful first move for most people is something called house hacking. Here's the concept. You buy a small multi-family property, a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, and you live in one unit while renting out the others. Because you're owner occupying the property, you can often buy it with as little as 3.5% down using an FHA loan. On a $200,000 duplex, that's just $7,000 down. Your tenants help cover your mortgage, sometimes fully eliminating your housing payment. You're building equity, collecting rent, learning the landlord business in real time, and living for free or nearly free while you save for your next property. I've seen people go from 0 to 4 units in under 3 years using this strategy alone. And once you own that first property and understand the game, the second one becomes much easier because now you have equity, rental income, and real experience. The key is to simply begin. You don't need to be rich. You don't need a finance degree. You need a plan, a market to study, and the discipline to take one step at a time. The people who win with real estate aren't smarter than you. They just started. If this video gave you one new idea about how wealth is actually built, subscribe to Property Playbook right now. Every week we break down real deals, real strategies, and the math behind passive income that most people never see. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.